Well, as we talked about before, we were trying to add to our forward group here, and with Michael, we like his even strength play. We think he's a very strong 5-on-5 player. He's also a player that has championship pedigree. He's been in the playoffs before, won a Stanley Cup, and then you look at how we've played over the last few weeks. I think we've played pretty well at 5-on-5, but our special teams have to be better, and we think Michael can come in and help us with our penalty kill there. So we see him as a winger that can play up and down our lineup, and certainly excited to add him.
Can you confirm what's out there, no salary retained in either trade?
Yeah, that's correct.
Did you need to clear salary in one deal to make the other deal?
Yeah, and that's what we'd been talking a lot about, trying to make a situation a defenseman for a forward. Obviously, brought another team to make it happen, but certainly excited to have Michael in part of our group here.
Do you expect him tomorrow, or visa situations being as they are?
No, it's probably going to be a couple of days and stuff from that standpoint. So I think it'd be a bit of a surprise if he's here before Saturday. I think more realistic would be next week.
Did you feel that there was a necessity to make a move at this point, given that this team has been slumping for a little bit?
Well, I think we haven't been very happy with the results at all. I would say since coming back from the break, I think our team's performed fairly well, but we haven't got the results. And so you're always looking to try to find a mix. And I think, like I just said before, I think at 5-on-5 we've been doing pretty well, but we do have to, improve our special teams. And I think the Tampa Bay is a good example. I think we're coming on the PK, but later on in the penalty kills, giving up a late goal, that's certainly been very hurtful for our team. And on the flip side, we've tried to change some things on the power play. And this time of the year, you're looking for a spark from some of your top players, and that's what we need.
One of the big focuses over the past month or so has been players publicly or privately or whatever asking for trades. What do you make of that, and how do you deal with that, given that you're trying to build something here and you've got players who seem to want out?
Well, look, we have a lot of conversations with our players throughout the year, and as I said before, I'm going to keep those conversations private. I can't control what a player or his agent or whoever ends up saying to the media, but it also doesn't impact or dictate what we're going to do with our team here. And the bottom line is, I think you look around that room, there's always going to be some exceptions. There's always going to be some players who are disappointed with their role or want more ice time or opportunity. But it's also our belief, what we're trying to do is create more competition within our team. We have to build up our depth. We have to have more internal competition for roles. And there's always going to be players that are a little disgruntled, but I think for the majority, our players are very excited to be working with Ralph and excited where our team's going.
How much was the Dalton Smith move a message to Tampa, and how much of it was a message to your own room?
It was a situation where I think it's a great story. I think here's a young man who's came to our organization and developed. And Chris Taylor is in charge of developing our young players at age 20, but he's also in charge of developing players of all age. And here's a 25-year-old who came into our organization and worked his way up to earn a National Hockey League contract. And yeah, he brought grit, and it was great to see him out there. It's great to see him earn that contract. And I also thought, Jake McCabe stepping up in that situation. Our guys played with team toughness, and that's what we have to do in the second half.
Lazar has shown a lot of grit since he's been up here, and it's resulted into a couple of goals. And I saw that in training camp too. Could have been a situation where maybe he should have been here, because he brings an element that maybe some of the other forwards don't bring.
Well, I think what's been great with working with Curtis is he had a fairly strong training camp. When he was sent to Rochester, asked a lot of questions on what he had to work on. And you look at it right now, we're a team that's struggling in the faceoffs. He's adding an element to the faceoff. He's getting in the forecheck, and maybe not his goals aren't the prettiest, but he's going hard to the net from that standpoint. So he brings elements that maybe we're lacking a little bit, and he's certainly taken advantage of it. And I think that's what, for us to have success here in the second half, that's what we're going to have to continue to have. Players stepping up and bringing us, and then with a player like Jeff Skinner going down, it's opportunity for extra ice time for other players to step up and hopefully have a bigger role on our team.
You needed to make one move, I know, to get to the other, but was there any pause given this Scandella to a team you're chasing that you still have to play 3 more times?
Yeah, and look, I think Marco's played very well this year and stuff. I think he came into the organization, the first year had a strong year. Last year, even under his own beliefs, maybe didn't play up to his potential. But he's done a very good job, and I think that's why there was more of a demand for him out there and stuff. But we're in a situation here right now that we have to improve our own team, and we felt this is a trade that we wanted to make to improve our group here in Buffalo.
You still want to add to the forward ranks?
It's a situation where we'll continue. We don't have anything else to announce today, but we will certainly continue to look at it.
Did Montreal call you first, or did you call them? How this came up?
We've been talking to some different teams about scenarios. Originally, look, I've checked in with Bergeron on a couple things. I think I reached out to him, and that's how it probably started it.
Can you confirm that Sabaka's season is done?
It's something that we'll probably reevaluate later on, but it's more likely that's probably the case. But we're still hopeful that there could be something later on.
Ralph said yesterday he'll play the players who want to be here. Is that his decision? Is that an organizational decision? How does that work?
Look, anything that goes on the ice, and from our standpoint of bringing players in and who we call up, look, I'm in constant conversations with Ralph on that belief. And look, when you want players who want to be a part of things here, we've talked a lot about it, about players waiving no trades to come to Buffalo, players signing with Buffalo. That's how we're going to have success eventually, and that's, I think players show with more energy, more determination out there, and want to be a part of it and want to be the part of finding a solution here.
I don't think I've ever asked you this. Do you strongly suggest what you would like a lineup to be, or is that up to the coaching staff?
That's up to the coaching staff from that standpoint. And look, I think you've seen a lot of different creative sort of lineups this year with Ralph. He's been willing to make adjustments to our group. He's willing to go 11-7 or 12-6. But I know they have a lot of internal discussions there on things and feel very comfortable with what they're doing.
You've had 41 games to evaluate Ralph. What's been his impact, in your opinion?
Well, look, I think Ralph understands, has had a great chemistry with our players and relationship with our players, and has been willing to have the hard conversations with them. He also understands where we're at right now and stuff, and understands that there's positive steps that we're taking, but we have to continue to work harder to get better results here right now.
Thank you, Jason.